Hey, welcome back, everybody. So yeah, let's talk about Grand Oak Padraig, or as his anglicized name is, Saint Patrick. Okay, this guy was a guaranteed champion through Soul Stones and regular shards around St. Patrick's Day. I think it was like right after St. Patrick's Day, which we all assumed was going to happen. He has a Sylvan Watcher's support. He is arguably the best champion in that faction other than the Mythic, because he is so versatile. You can use him almost anywhere. Okay, a couple places where he really stands out are Hydra and Fire Knight. Now I know the last couple champion guides I'm doing, it's really coming down to Fire Knight and Hydra. Well, guess what the two endgame places you want to be in the game are? Fire Knight and Hydra. That's where the two places you want to be the best at. Okay, so let's just talk about him real quick. I love him, and I was really happy that if you haven't checked out my video where I didn't spend any money to get Grand Oak Padraig, I just resold like mythic champion souls I had that I knew I wasn't going to get these mythics. I resold those souls for soul coins and just bought eternal soul stones and immortal soul stones and all that fun jazz. And I was able to actually afford Grand Oak Padraig. Okay. But today in this video, I'm just going to show you a couple places where he stands out and how to build them. Okay, so essentially that's what these champion guides are these are the best places for him to go, and this is how you build this guy. Okay, so let's break down his abilities first. Okay, his A1 is called Snake Root. It has a 25, 35, 50% chance of decreasing the cooldown of a random ally skill, active skill, by 2 turns. Okay, his A2, Weird Spores. It's a 4-turn cooldown, fully booked. Teams up with all allies to attack a single enemy. The allies joining the attack will use their default skills. It will also fully restore all allies destroyed max HP and place a 15% continuous heal buff on all allies for 2 turns. Okay, so what automatically makes him, for those 2 places I told you about, is this skill. He will fully restore all damage or all destroyed max HP, which Hard Fire Knight does and Hydra does. Okay, and then he is one of, I think it's 3 champions in the game that have an all ally attack skill. It's Grand Oak Padraig, Cardiel, and Lady Mikage are the 3 that have, or I'm sorry, there's 4, because then there's Lenathril, who isn't great, but Lenathril still is in Hard Fire Knight teams because he fills that role of all ally attack. Okay, and to a little note on Lenathril, you can use him in Curse City. I've used him in Curse City quite a few times when he comes up because he is very handy. Okay, and then his A3, which is a great ability, Inspiring Rhythm, 3-turn cooldown when booked, fills the champion or fills the turn meter of all allies by 20%, so he's a speed booster. Plus, he removes all debuffs from all allies and places increased speed on all of them for 2 turns. Now, I have not tested him against a Tormund in Arena or in any of the dungeons, but I think he still gets messed up by Tormund, because if this activates the way it says, he will increase the turn meter first. Tormund's passive triggers, but then he'll also remove all debuffs from all allies, cleansing the freeze from Tormund. But then after that, he places increased speed on everybody for 2 turns, re-triggering the Tormund passive. I haven't tested it out. You know what? Today, let's test it out. Let's take him into Doom Tower, find the Tormund level, and then give it a go. But what really makes him stand out is his passive. This is an amazing passive. I love it. Grand Oak's Magic. Okay? At the start of his turn, he places a buff on each ally for 1 turn depending on their type. So if you're an attack champion, he gives you increased attack. If you're defense, increased defense. If you're a support, increased accuracy. And if you're an HP champion, you get a shield equal to 30% of the ally's max HP. So of its own HP. Okay? So essentially what that says is, I think Ursuga actually is an HP champion. Where my big bitch at? Where's she at? Okay, she is HP. Because if she was support, she get increased accuracy. So Ursuga would get a shield on herself that is equal to 30% of her max HP. She's 128,000. So I don't know. Let's do a calculator here. 128, and then times that by 0.3. She would get a shield for 38,000 placed onto her when Grand Oak takes a turn. Amazing. I love this guy. In that same event, you could have went and got his 5-star perfect soul, but I didn't go for it because I didn't have enough resources and I didn't want to spend any money and I wanted to stick true to myself. So when I saw his soul pop up in the soul shop, I bought it because I knew I was going to use him in Fire Knight hard to secure a hard Fire Knight team and then put Phantom Touch on him. Okay. The sets you want to use him on are Reflex is number 1. And I'm going to have to redo Grand Oak Padraig into Reflex or Merciless. Now I hear you barking. Merciless. Yes. Let's take a look at Merciless. We'll go all the way down. What are the bonuses to Merciless? When you have a 4-piece set on, it's 30% chance to decrease a random skill cooldown when dealing damage. Grand Oak deals damage on 2 of his 3 abilities. The only one he doesn't do that on is his A3 where he cleanses. But when he does his ally attack and his A1, he has a chance to reduce the cooldown. Realistically, you want to put Grand Oak in Merciless and Reflex, and you can make it work. You'd have 4-piece Reflex, 4-piece Merciless, and then you would just go from there. Honestly, you know what, guys? Let's try to do it right now. Let's do this. Let's go. I want priority. I want high speed. Okay. So we can't put him in any boots because we don't have any boots that are speed, even equipped. But we can put him in this shield. And we do want resistance on him too for Hydra. So right there already. This actually might... I was trying to run my Fire Knight hard team in between doing these videos, and we was having the worst time. Ooh, triple speed. 5-star, not bad though. I was apparently having the worst time of it. Try that on. I use them in Brutal, so the stats will get boosted in Brutal. What am I doing wrong, boys? Oh, I know what I'm doing wrong. We cannot do this. We can't do Merciless 4-piece and then try to do Reflex with accessories. We have to do essentially Reflex accessories first. Hide set filter. Why is this not? Oh, that's probably not coming until later. But we want to get this 1-piece. We get to have 1 off piece. So we need a ring, an amulet, or a banner, but we need 2 of the 3 here. And we can have an off piece in the artifacts, which is probably going to have to happen. Yeah, we'll take that off. Okay. Let's head back to this. Let's go to equipped. Man, that's bummer. You can't sort by sets right now. So, sadly, I'm only seeing... Okay, we have a ring. We have 1 ring and we have 1 amulet. So we can technically do this. So let's just YOLO. We got the silver. Boom. Push that up. 1, 1, 1. Sure. We are in the fitting room. So let's try that on. And there it is. This is fine too. I was for a long time just selling everything. Ooh, we landed on resistance. That's great. I was selling everything that wasn't damaging for Merciless. Because we're already doing a lot better right now. What do we get for this? What do we get for a 3 set? Because I was like, oh, this is a damaging set, obviously. But then I see a lot of people going, no, you use this for everybody. And a big thing, I want to get him out of Relentless because he loses buffs that he desperately needs to keep himself alive. Because for some reason, my Fire Knight hard team has been failing, and I don't know what I did. I did change position of the champions, which is very important in Fire Knight. But I thought it would work out better, but now I just don't know anymore. So we're just going to have to redo it here. Priority stats, speed with resistance. So boots, no resistance on them, but that's fine. The resistance really is only there for Hydra. So yeah, I think we can do it. Take a look here. Speed with resistance, that's what we want. Boom, boom. We want to keep that. That's a really good one. Because what does this do? Yeah, we lose 14 speed. We don't want that. Resistance chest, actually, not bad. We only lose 1 speed there. We don't have good gloves for this, do we? So 1, 2, 3. And then put the gloves, which are crit damage gloves, which I don't like. Because we do lose a bit of HP. What's this? HP. Ooh. Sadly, I already finished the art. That's a bummer. I already did finish the artifact. Yeah, now we're losing too much resistance. I already did finish the artifact enhancement event. This is attack. We'd lose more resistance. The reason we want resistance on him is because he actually sometimes is a mischief tank in Hydra when everybody else's buffs fall off. Now he really will be. Substats, resistance. Oh, go figure. Yeah, 14. I mean, resistance is more important than speed. But I don't think I have. Just gonna have to triple speed, please. Double speed. Oh, you know what? I'll take it, and it has resistance. Throw that on there, and throw resistance one out. Ooh, max, and we still can ascend these pieces to make them better. And then let's just go back and look. Yeah, here we go. Speed, resistance. I think this is exactly what we want. Not much different, not much different. 20 more speed. Let's just make sure 4-piece, 4-piece. He's good to go. I think this is definitely gonna be my new build for him. So now collectively we have a 40% chance to reduce a random skill cooldown, and then we have a 30% chance on top of that when we deal damage. So it is additive, but okay, it's not additive, it's actually separated. It doesn't happen at the same time. When this happens for Reflex, it happens when you use the ability. This one happens when you deal damage. So it's two separate instances, okay? So, I mean, if we were to add them together, it's probably more like probably 50% chance. Now, a lot of people are like, well, why don't you just put, refresh accessories on them instead? That's not a bad idea, but we don't have that luxury, really. Let's see. I have quite a few of these. Let's see what we get here. Defense not bad. Defense is a little low. Let's look at Fire Knight Hard. Yeah, 2800. But he's at 297 speed. Hopefully it doesn't mess up the turn order. Let's try to throw him back in there and see how well he does. All right, Fire Knight Hard team. I did rearrange it to put it back to what it was before. I think it is because of the Phantom Touch procs that I am failing. But let's look at it here. I have him open up with whatever he wants on the first wave. Second wave, I don't want him doing anything because on the third wave, third against the boss, I want him using Weird Spores first, and then I want him going into Inspiring Rhythm. Okay, just making sure. Yep, she hasn't changed. Okay, you haven't changed. It's got to be this Creatine. I think I'm screwing up. Maybe his accuracy's too low. But let's not waste 40 energy. I wasted like 120 and I failed each time. And essentially what happens is the Fire Knight, he ends up taking a turn without decreased speed on. And we're not able to keep the turn meter down, and he ends up killing Creatine the blue. So I think I'm going to swap out Creatine the blue for Neldor, because Neldor is a better option. Creatine does bring like turn meter boost increase and everything like that, but not as beneficial as we'd like it. Boom. Very nice. You love to see it. So I did talk in my last video about this team that you want somebody placing a debuff on that Riho before Creatine takes a turn, because then you're able to freeze her. And because if she gets a turn and she cleanses that team before you're able to kill all of them, bad things happen. Okay? I'm very hopeful on I'm very hopeful on this. All right, Imperial Dance. Ooh, all the way down to 8. Okay. Here we go. Well, this is going to be a success now because we did land decreased speed. We just landed freezes, yeah. So I wonder if it wasn't. It had to be the turn order I had it in. Wonderful. Okay. Seems to be more consistent now. We get to watch this together. Big hits. And then we're back to the ally attack. So yeah, I think that's perfect. And we gotta reduce in reduction on the turn meter there. Or turn meter. I'm sorry, on the ability. Boom boom. Big dog. Now, realistically, you do want the team in Savage. If you can manage it other than the ally attackers. 158. All right. Pretty decent. I don't want to try my luck again on that. So that is going to be Padraig for Fire Knight 20. Okay. Now, I don't believe I even went over his mastery, so I do apologize. Masteries are pretty easy. Take him down to War Master there. Get him on Lore Steel for some extra set bonuses. Spirit Haste makes him faster if there's people that are dead. Lasting Gifts extends the buffs that he places. And then put him on Cycle of Magic. But I think he is going to be for an Amius rotation, so maybe not take Cycle of Magic so you don't have to redo the Masteries. I mean, you're going to have him in Reflex and all that stuff anyway, so he's probably going to be good for Amius. But let's take a look at the Hydra team that I use on Brutal. Now, to put something out there, this is not my highest key I do on Brutal. And he was in Defiant plus Relentless for this. But I think I've done like 500 million on Brutal with this team before. And this is my Brutal team. I use Sulfurion, Archer, Blade Master, Padraig, Ugo, and Varl. People that are sleeping on Blade Master, do not do that. He is amazing. Pair him with an HP burner, and you will see millions of damage come off of him. His A3 and especially his A2 does a ton of damage. But I use Padraig for my Brutal Hydra team. He absolutely crushes. You just watched us change his gear live into better gear. So I will be running him in this gear from now on. You can use him anywhere, though. You can take him into any of the dungeons and use him. I wouldn't use him in Ice Golem's Peak because he will trigger the Golem to have a temper tantrum. And he's probably not great in Spider. But Minotaur, probably can use him in Minotaur. Especially if you're newer to the game and you're still running a full team to clear Minotaur instead of one person clearing Minotaur. Definitely an option. Dragon's Lair, you're not going to have an issue with him in Dragon's Lair. But Fire Knight is where he is designed to be. And so is Hydra. Okay? I wouldn't really... You don't use them in Sand Devils until we see what they're doing for the rebalance. And you're not going to use them in Shogun's Grove, I wouldn't think. Because the fastest way to clear Shogun's Grove right now, and it's not going to let me do it, to show you, but well, we can look here, is a team like this where you have an HP burner. You're going to end up using a Gnarlhorn because he can't weaken as a 1 and he can put Unkillable on himself. And you're going to use like Cold Heart and a Painkeeper, reset and cooldowns, all that fun jazz. Emek is MVP here. But yeah, that's going to be it for the video. This one's actually a lot shorter than the other ones. Thank you for tuning in. Let's just go down and let's say, hey, what's up, Grand Oak Padraig? Let's give him a little rating here. If I were to say the best champions in this faction right now, it's Padraig, Feral, Emek, Astrid. Glykid is amazing. I don't have him, but he is amazing. Awala is solid. Elva. King Galkabar sees play in some places. Claydna still garbage after the buff. Eilil still not great after his buff. Lady of Irith, fucking throw her in the dumpster. Man, I hope you get such a buff. I hope you get like a Mashald Dracomorph buff. Candrafon buff. For anybody that wasn't around when those went off, they changed the game. Though they overbuffed those champions, and those champions dominated the areas they were supposed to be in. Especially Candrafon, especially Mashald. Dracomorph was just, Dracomorph just got way better. But yeah, I have Saoirse. Don't judge me. I do apologize if you get upset about that. But I've been playing the game for 5 years. What do you want me to do? Yeah, so let's go to Padraig. Let's just, where's the thing? I want to give him the ratings. It's over on his champion, I bet. Get out of here. Let's go to recently used first. Okay. Where is our rating? Reviews. Fire Knight's Castle. He's a 5. Hydra. 5. Dragon's Lair. 5. Arena Offense. You can use him in a blender team, so I will give him a 5. Anybody that does an ally attack, blender team. Faction Wars, 5. Demon Lord, 5. Let's see. Campaign locations, solid. I'll give him a 4. Arena defense, you can set up a blender team for defense, but it probably won't do good, so we're going to say a 4. Iron Twins Fortress. That's a tough one. I haven't seen any teams for that, but I'm going to give him a 4. Sand Devils Necropolis. No. You do not want to ally attack in that. I'm going to say he's acceptable. Spider's Den. I can't think of a team that does an all-ally attack like that, so I'm going to give him acceptable. Ice Golem's Peak. Change that to a 1. Minotaur's Labyrinth, 5. Magic Keep, 5. Spirit Keep, 5. Void Keep, 5. And then Force Keep, 5. He's great in all the keeps. And yeah, that's it. Boom. Saving it. Thank you guys for tuning in. Catch you next time. Bye-bye.